Welcome to the Enneapreneur Live. My name is Jody Barber. I am an Enneagram coach and sales strategist for women entrepreneurs who are in their first 1 to 3 years of business, trying to create sales processes that are unique and customized to their personality type. So what my passion in the world is helping women entrepreneurs sell more confidently, authentically, and effectively online. And my past 7 years, I have been in the selling space where I have sold a variety of different products. I have sold services. I have coached women. I have tried to crack this code, sometimes successfully, sometimes not successfully, of effective sales. And I have done it all the wrong ways. And I have really realized what some of these missing pieces are that so many women entrepreneurs are missing when it comes to their sales process actually being authentic to them and effective, meaning they're selling more stuff and making more money. And so today I wanted to dive into a concept that I have been thinking so much about. And I'm actually hosting a free masterclass this week. And I was talking about it a little bit today on the training that I did for the women that were attending. And that is called figuring out what your stick factor is as an entrepreneur. So I want to give a little bit of background to this. When I started out selling products, leveraging social media, yes, I'm holding this because I'm going to be doing a little bit of teaching here. Leveraging social media, leveraging the online space, I felt like marketing and, getting people's attention all happened just on social media. In fact, that's how I was trained. It's like you need to launch your business and tell your network that you're selling such and such a product or selling such and such a service. And so that's what I did. And then I had like a little launch party, and that was a little bit of a stick factor. I'm going to explain stick factor in a minute. It's a little bit of a stick factor because it brought people into an area that was where they could raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say and seeing what you have to sell. But other than that, I would put stuff out on social media, and then I would get into conversations in the DMs. Now, I am very pro having conversations in the DMs, but the problem is you can't only build a business doing that. You need to have a place where you are nurturing your network, nurturing people who are interested a little bit. Maybe you've gotten their attention or piqued their curiosity a little bit, but they're not yet ready to buy. I have seen over and over and over, and this is even how I operated in my businesses for a long time, is, you would get into a conversation with someone, or someone would interact with your social media posts or your social media content, and you would try to really rush the sales process. And maybe you can relate to this right now in your business. You have someone who maybe is like kind of raised their hand, kind of said they're interested, and all of a sudden you're telling them all your offers, all the ways to work with you, all the ways to do business with you. And sometimes that is fine. Sometimes that works. Sometimes people are really excited and ready to buy. But a majority of the time, which I'm going to show you here in a second, that is not the case. And so how do you not only attract people into your world who are interested in your products, in your services, but keep them in your world and nurture them, serve them, educate them, inspire them, and eventually motivate them to actually become perfect buyers in your business? And so I'm going to show you a little bit of what this looks like, and then talk about some ideas that I hope that you can take and start implementing today in your business to make this process more fluid, to have it be really tightened up, and to also be very, very, very effective. So, all right. Learning what your stick factor is. Before we get into that, I want to show you a visual that I learned. I don't know if this is backwards. This could be backwards to you. It looks backwards to me when I'm looking at myself, but hopefully, I don't think it is. Okay, I'm seeing the replay. So I was in a sales training with another business coach. This was several years ago, and this will forever stick in my brain. This is something that I have thought about so much in my own business, my own businesses, because I have been in a variety of different businesses over the past 7 years. So you are selling, so you're an entrepreneur, and this is your audience here. This line kind of represents the breadth of your audience, people who you are getting your business in front of. And on any given day, you have, or any given season in your business, there is a small percentage of people that are a heck yes, okay? And this is probably even too big. We'll just say that this is like 1 to 2%, okay? You've got like 1 to 2% of your network at any given time is a heck yes. They're like, yes, I am ready to buy. I don't care what it is. This may be your grandma, probably your mom. You know, my mom has bought every product I've ever sold. Thanks, Mom. You know, this your best friend, you know, people who are going to support you. And then you'll have like the random unicorns of people who are like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Sign me up, send me the link. I don't even care how much it costs. Here's my credit card information. Okay, that's about 1 to 2%. Over here, you have the never people. These are the people that are just mad that you're selling something. Or they just would never be interested. They have no interest whatsoever in purchasing from you, and they never will. I would say this is maybe, I don't know, 3 to 4%. 3 to 4% of your network, okay? So I also see women entrepreneurs oftentimes speaking to these people and trying to convince them to change their mind. Don't. These people are not your people. And most likely they will start unfollowing you. And that is great. That's totally fine. That's actually preferred. So you've got the 1 to 2% that's a heck yes at any given point in time. And you've got the 3 to 4% that's a never. But this is where the magic happens. What about all the people that are there in between? What is this? This is like, you know, probably 95%-ish. We'll just say 95%. 95, and I have the person I need to give credit this training to is Ray Higdon. He is a master sales trainer for network marketers. He's phenomenal. So I need to give him credit for this training. I did not come up with this on my own. I did not research this on my own. 95% of your audience in your network doesn't have enough information yet. They don't know yet. They are missing information. This is where you need to have a stick factor in place. You need to have a way for these people in the 95% to become aware that you exist and that you have a business, and to be able to raise their hand without spending money because they're not a heck yes yet, right? I mean, this is the goal, is to bring them to the heck yes, but they're not there yet. So where do you send them? And this is the question that I ask all of my clients. This is literally why my clients hire me, is to help them figure this question out and to create a streamlined process that's aligned with your personality type, which we can't get into all the nuances of that right now. But you need to figure out what your stick factor is. So someone doesn't come into your world, you know, maybe they see a social media post, maybe they hear about you from another person, maybe they heard you speak in a workshop or whatever it is, and they come into contact with you, but you don't have a stick factor, so they like just bounce right off and float off into the stratosphere. That is leaving money on the table. And that is not serving your ideal audience and your ideal clients well. You need to have a front door that is open and obvious and welcoming, that they can walk through and that they can come into your world and that they can remain in your ecosystem, your nurturing ecosystem, until you are ready, or until they are ready to actually do business with you, until they are actually ready to work with you in whatever way you work with your clients or customers. Okay. So let's talk about some ideas for what your stick factor could be. Now, the first thing I want to say, and this is like Captain Obvious, and honestly, I don't know why there is so much resistance around this, but if you do not have an email list, you need an email list. I, to this point in time, have not found a more effective or efficient way to capture people's information, to get them off of social media, which you have no control over. You do not own your social media platforms. Mark Zuckerberg and other people do. It's like you have to have a way to capture information and to bring people into your world. I don't know any other way to do this except through email, because you own your email list. This is the best place to serve your audience and to sell to them. I was shocked when I started my email list. I was challenged in a mastermind a couple years ago to start an email list, and I had never heard of this or even considered this. And I just thought, well, no, I'm just going to put my stuff out on social media, and people who are interested, I'll talk to them and I'll just sell my products to them. But what I was missing was a way to actually build relationship and nurture the people in my audience who weren't yet ready to buy, but were interested enough to say, sure, I'll opt into your thing. So we started talking about something like a freebie or a lead magnet. And, I had downloaded these things, I had downloaded like meal plans for kids, or, like top 10 list of this. And then as a woman entrepreneur, I've downloaded so many freebies from so many different coaches and consultants about how to build a business, how to do this, different social media plans. And I had never, up until that point of time, considered creating something that was my own, like even my own intellectual properties. So back then, I was selling holistic health products. So it was like skincare and supplements. And one of the aspects of my products was detox. Like detox was a really big part of the education that came along with the products that my customers would buy and the products that I was using myself. And so I decided during that season to create a detox guide. You may be watching this now. Maybe you were one of the people that downloaded my detox guide, but I created this easy morning detox guide where, 3 steps to your morning to effectively detox your body and get started on your day. I can't remember the exact title of the lead magnet, but it was really popular. And I was able to, put together this lead magnet. It offered a lot of free value, and it brought people onto my email list, where I then was able to continue to introduce them to who I am as a business owner, what I sell, the benefits, offering testimonials. And that was a great start to this. And as I've expanded my business and now focusing on Enneagram coaching and sales strategy for women entrepreneurs, I have continued these practices. And for over 2 years, I have faithfully sent out an email once a week to my email list. And this is where I build relationship. This is where I sell. So one of my stick factors for me are compelling lead magnets, compelling free downloads that my audience, I can capture my audience's attention through this lead magnet or through this freebie, and it brings them into my world, onto my email list. Okay. The other place that I have found this to be very effective and that I have used, I know not everybody loves Facebook groups, and you're probably a part of 300,000 Facebook groups with all the parties and the events and things you've been invited to. But one of the decisions I made in my business was to create a Facebook community. Now, I started a Facebook community around holistic health and wellness. That's what I was fostering for a couple of years. And now it has morphed into being a networking community for women entrepreneurs. And what I do in that community is, I invite someone in, and this can happen through, let's say that you are in the DMs with someone and that you are having a conversation. You don't want to go straight to a sales pitch. I used to do that all the time, and it would really turn people off, as it should. It's really weird and spammy to go directly into a sales conversation unless someone is directly asking you for information themselves. And so you want to have another step. You want to have a way for them to actually get into your world and experience your genius and your expertise and your personality, just who you are as a human being. Because the reality is you are probably selling something that many other people are selling, especially if you're in network marketing, or, let's say that you're in a popular industry like business coaching. I mean, business coaches, sales strategists are a dime a dozen out there. Why would someone work with me? Well, they choose to work with me because we've developed a connection. We've developed a level of credibility. Like, they have come to trust me as a credible source that can actually help them with the solution that they are having, or to the problems that they are having in their business, with an effective solution. And so I take this very seriously as a business owner, as I'm expanding my network and my audience and trying to capture not only attention and attract the right people into my ecosystem, but when they're in my ecosystem, to actually nurture them. And nurturing this audience, many people in my ecosystem may never end up ever doing business with me, and that's totally fine. That's, anyone is free to come into my nurturing ecosystem and remain there and benefit from the free value that I give. That's the type of business owner I want to be. That's how I want to show up. However, it is also a very effective strategy for building that trust and credibility, which really helps to remove so many barriers when someone is making a buying decision. And so this area right here, this can for everyone, it's different. So for the 95% of people in your audience, in your network at any given time, it could take them 2 weeks. It could take them 2 months. It could take them 2 years. But you want to have a place that they can stick and that they can stay, and that you can know and you can be able to identify who has raised their hand and said, I'm interested and I want to be there. This also helps you to be able to track who is interested. And, on social media, you may be faithfully posting, you may be collaborating, you may be going live in stories, but unless someone actually interacts with your content or responds to your message, you don't really know whose curiosity has been piqued. If you go look at my social media content, this is on Instagram, LinkedIn, those are the two places I'm the most active. I'm most active on LinkedIn, but also Instagram, a little bit here on Facebook, although I don't know. You will see that I give calls to action at the end of every single one of my pieces of content. My calls to action are not always to immediately start doing business with me. People aren't ready for that yet. I have to build trust before someone is ready to do business with me. And so what I do is my calls to action are also my stick factor. I am inviting people 3 places. This is what I was sharing in my masterclass earlier today. I'm inviting people 3 places. 1, I'm inviting them into a one-on-one conversation with me. I do this many ways. We can connect over Zoom, a phone call. We could just connect through messages and, get to know each other that way. The second way someone can enter my ecosystem is by joining my email list. And so I offer my freebie. I have a sell by number guide to your Enneagram selling strengths. It's a comprehensive guide to how you sell out of your strengths, what some of your core fears are, and then some practical strategies to put into place that align with your type. You can download that freebie. I'm always inviting people to download that freebie. They get some value delivered to their inbox. Then they're in my world. They're in my ecosystem. They are on my email list where I can regularly provide value and sell. And then the third place that I'm always inviting people is into my Facebook group. I love this Facebook group because the Facebook group offers something that is a core value to me that my email list doesn't offer, and that's the community aspect. Other women entrepreneurs in this Facebook group can interact with other women entrepreneurs. I have found in Facebook groups I've been a part of and communities that I really love with other women entrepreneurs, I get a lot of inspiration. I can ask other women what they are doing, what strategies they're trying. I can network. It's been a great source of encouragement and information, but also relationships. It's been so cool. And I'm also in a coaching program where that happens as well, where I've invested financially to be in close proximity with a group of women entrepreneurs and phenomenal coaches and mentors that have really leveled up my business extremely. So that's not part of my stick factor, but the community group aspect of the Facebook group has been really effective for me. And that is where I have found my clients. That is where my clients have found me. And that is the perfect way to build trust. So for you, it could be many different things. And, maybe you're not utilizing a Facebook group. You should be utilizing an email list. It doesn't matter who you are or what you sell. You have to have an email list. End of story. Maybe you are kind of keeping people in your world because they subscribe to your blog. Maybe you have found another platform online to bring people into where who raises their hand and says, yes, I'm interested in your products or services or what you represent, and I want to stay in your world, but I'm not ready to spend money with you yet. So whatever it is, you have to have this in place, and you have to continually be inviting your network to this next step, like through the front door, into your ecosystem where you can nurture, where you can provide value, where they can get to know you as a real human being, who you are, your story, your experiences, your personality, and where you can effectively sell. And this is what is so cool about this. If you have this set up correctly, okay, if your lead magnet, your freebie download, whatever that is, it really speaks to an actual problem that your audience has and helps them solve that problem. If your Facebook community and the trainings that you do and the type of culture that you're trying to create in there really aligns, you are going to have a steady stream of qualified leads in your world. And that's when selling feels really good. It feels really good. You don't feel as if you're in a position of having to convince or somehow get someone to purchase your products or your services. They have already told you on some level, yes, I'm interested, when they opted in, when they accepted the invite, when they said yes to the masterclass, when they downloaded your freebie, when they, subscribed to your blog, whatever it is. It gave them a chance to give you permission to then nurture them, whether they consciously know that or not. And that's why this is so important. Your selling should not be happening only on social media. There is a time and a place for that. Your selling should not just be happening in the first few conversations in the DMs, unless your prospects come out and ask you directly for more information and they're ready to buy. Your selling happens from your stick factor. Wherever someone is sticking in your world, where can they stick and where can they stay? And what does that look like? And how do you show up consistently, serving, meeting needs, offering value, and also selling boldly and effectively? Okay. So if this is something that you are interested in diving into a little bit more, I have 2 places you can go. My email list. I send out every Friday morning an email where I am going to start kind of breaking down the stick factor. I'm going to be talking about this more in depth. And I'm going to be talking about this more in depth by Enneagram type. So it's going to be even more personal to you because you could take some of these strategies and apply them to your life and your business according to your Enneagram type. Also, I want to invite you into my Facebook community, the Enneapreneur. I go live, I am in that group every single day, interacting with the women that are in that group, answering questions, trying to like foster some collaboration and some networking. Every Monday, I go live in the group and I do a training similar to this, but we go even more in depth where I'm going to be actually breaking down what does an effective sales process look like for you and how do you align that sales process in a way that really fits your personality type. So if you are interested in getting tips, trainings, value similar to this, I want to invite you to connect with me in those two places. I'm going to go ahead and put links in the comments to both those places. And I cannot wait to see you inside my ecosystem. I hope that it provides tremendous value for you. And I would also love to hear in the comments what your number one takeaway was from this training. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back next Wednesday with an interview with a woman entrepreneur. You won't want to miss it. I will see you then.